Hello, Moon to Moon. Welcome back. I am really excited about this episode. What I want to bring to you here is an episode on the challenges of a six-figure mystic. As you may know, I have a new container. It's called ABLAZE. ABLAZE. It's been really fun writing the Z of ABLAZE. There's something in the Z that says a lot about this space. This space is only for 12 human beings. I'm constellating 12 leaders, visionaries, intuitive entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial mystics who want to move through an initiation with me. You want to be seen by me, mentored by me, supported by me, and held to the fires alongside of me as you move through an initiation into a deeper, more potent experience of your leadership frequency. You are down to be alchemized. You are willing to be humbled across what will be a kind of death experience. Parts of you that protected you are being asked to take a seat in a different part of your family system. We are going to be quieting a lot of protector voices so that you don't have as much noise as you bring through the force of your leadership that grows from your big, brave heart. We begin January 29th and we move to June 4th. We're meeting every other Thursday. It's a small group, so your attendance is highly encouraged. It's going to be a place where we welcome pressure, we welcome honesty, we name truths, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable so that this alchemy can take hold. And I'm bringing through for you a curriculum that supported me in moving into six figures and then into multiple six figures. Because some of the nuances and the subtleties of the challenges that I face since moving into six figures have changed. There are ways in which the challenges of someone making 11K in revenue a year are different than someone making 500K in revenue a year. And also the skill set, the skill set of the practice of this kind of initiation is the skill set that you can bring with you no matter what your revenue threshold is. So let me bring you in here. When you're moving to building a business that can make 1K a month, 2K a month, 5K a month, when you're at the beginning, which is like a really beautiful time, so full of fool energy, so much unknown. I love that period. That's why I've created so many spaces to help those in that window. It's just it's just so wonderful to be at the beginning of discovering what our business is showing us about ourselves. And so much of what you're doing as you're in that window with your business And this can be your side gig or a full-time dream or an actual full-time business, depending on where you are. So much of the beginning is actually being in the wonder and delight of recognizing your value. Like at the beginning, there's something very miraculous about that, especially if you struggle to know your value. Like having people return, having people refer you, your name just growing because people are saying your name because they really appreciated how it felt to be with you. And it's just like this natural flow happening, like as your schedule gets busier. It's amazing. That's such an amazing time. And so much of that time for me was just understanding that I have something that people value and they're willing to pay for. It was like, what? When you're used to decades in the art world and academia, where like you're basically barely able to cover your childcare, like you just learn that the high skill you provide is not valued in currency. Like you should just be grateful that you get to engage in the world with your skillful critical thinking and philosophy and aesthetics. Like just be grateful. Just shut up and take it. This is all you're getting. Did you want to be participating? Well, this is all you get. You know, like that was the deep messaging that I received about my value in the marketplace from my pre-entrepreneurial life. So to me, that those building up a reliable, consistent income in the thousands a month, the four figures a month, is a process of just getting more clear on your value. Like it's real. It's real. It's here. That is not a small thing. That is a huge thing and it's beautiful and it's big. So, where I'm bringing us to is when you start to be a person who's making like 8K a month, 9K a month, 10K a month, teens K a month, when you're getting into 20K months, when you're moving into that, there's there's a lot more going on than wow, people really like what I'm sharing, you know, like which itself is huge. So this isn't to diminish it. It's just to say, like, the complexity continues. Guess what? Like, there's more to learn. This is like not a thing that you're like, well, looks like I mastered it. I don't have to learn anymore, at least for me, because I'm not the kind of person that's interested in not learning anymore. So I'm just always going to be taking myself to the next place. And then I'm always going to be thinking about how could I support somebody else with this? Because this is fascinating. There's got to be a way that I could structure a learning container around this. So, one of the huge things that you're learning as you get into 8K and above, I would say, is you're really learning self trust. Like, trust yourself. Your offerings are clearly valuable. Your sense for what you're doing is valuable. Like, the evidence is in. The evidence is in. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust this process. So I feel like that is just a huge piece, which is so essential to everything after. Like you're learning to be a person who's moving along in momentum. You can't grow a business without momentum. You have to be moving, you know? So you're moving along, you're growing self-trust, and you start to come into awareness of a threshold. Like you're aware that some part of you is like slowing down at this line that's just like, whoa, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. And so that's what I'm interested in helping people with is when we come to these edges where we're like, oh, I'm going to have to learn something here. Like I'm going to have to be alchemized. I'm going to have to be humbled about maybe my worldviews or my limiting self beliefs, the limits of trust I have in the universe. Like something's got to give, or I'm just going to stay right here. And maybe that's fine. Like for ABLAZE, I'm talking about unshaming that you want to get over this threshold. Like you cannot wait to find out what's on the other side of it, but it's scary. It's scary. You want to support yourself. You want to support yourself. So when we get to this level, there's two realms that really want our attention if you want to keep growing. And so one of these is considering structural and systemic support. And one of these is bringing in visibility support. Because if you're wanting to grow, there's going to be a need to get your hands dirty learning about these next aspects of business. And I went in just like not having been educated, trained by anybody in this. It's me learning from the people that I'm investing in for coaching, whether that's group or one-on-one, and me just like applying my own savvy to a new skill set. Like being willing to be a fool, being willing to be like, I don't know anything about that, but I know how to learn things. So one of the edges is the edge of being a fool, like learning to just let yourself fumble around. And honestly, as a mentor, I've been a mentor for years now. Like it's kind of different. It's different than my teacher role. As a mentor, this is like a huge threshold, is the threshold of being a beginner at something. And for many people, like it feels like an indignity. You know, it feels there's a lot of resistance against the indignity. And so a lot of ways I help people is to help them come into more playfulness with this because this is the only way across. Like, did you want to get across this river? I'm showing you where the bridge is. You can stay here. Like, I'm not invested in you doing what I say, you know? But you asked me about where the bridges are. I'm showing you where the bridges are. Like, beginner's mind, beginner's mind. Let's get playful. It's going to feel undignified for a moment. Because wherever you go in business is so fascinating. Because, like, you can be so skilled in the thing that you're already skilled in, but there's going to be something that you're not skilled in yet. So you're just like constantly holding in one hand, like reverence for the maturity of the skills that you do have, and holding in the other hand, the playfulness of a child who's like excited to learn things. Do you feel me? So often what happens, I think, as signals that we've hit this threshold. Well, first of all, is we can feel resentment. Like it's really hard for people I've seen to see how they're resenting their business or they're resenting their clients, they're resenting their audience because it feels shameful to have to admit that. That's just, but like per usual with me, like I would just rather name it because now we can actually engage with this, we can't be in relationship to what we're not allowing ourselves to look at. That's the whole point of ABLAZE, y'all. It's inviting you to be in relationship with what you've been unwilling to be in relationship with, which is the thing that's creating resistance to taking the bridge. Like, take the bridge. There is a way across this threshold, but you have to be willing to notice the bridge, see that it's there, and walk across it. It's probably going to involve some death. It's the death of the ego, but also like these protector parts that really, really, really believe that they understand how the world works and how you fit in it. These are parts of us that are very confident in ourselves. Like, oh, we know. We know. And like they just remind me of my 16-year-old. Like I have a 16-year-old. That's how she talks. She is so sure of how much she knows, you know? And when I really touch base with my protectors, they're adolescents that like came online to protect the parts of me that were really scared about being a person growing up, you know? So we can love these parts, but also be like, oh, yeah, you're 16. You don't know everything. Love you. And that's cute. You are so adorable, but you're not going to run my business anymore when it comes to this thing. This thing being whatever the challenge is that you're currently dealing with that has to do with why you're afraid to cross the river into the next threshold of your business, your potency, your power, your voice. That's what we're doing in ABLAZE. Okay, so yes, resentment. I was saying resentment. Resentment is very common, but not often spoken of. There's this kind of resentment that we have to blank, blank, blank. Why do I have to keep talking about my offer? Can't y'all just buy it? Can't y'all just say yes? Why do I have to write another newsletter? Why do I have to sell? Why do I have to learn how to use an integration software? Why do I have to fill it in? Like we all have these. Let's just be honest that this is just human. It's not a problem. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with us. We all have these. They're funny. The thing though is that when we're resenting our business for whatever reason, there's going to be parts of us that are very rigid against showing up to it. And now when we do show up, the energy of our resentment is kind of in the field. And then since that's not very magnetic, it doesn't feel good to the audience. Then you're not even getting what you want, which is people buying your thing. And this is very tricky when you are moving to another level of your business and you're putting out offers that you've never put out before, because that's what you're going to have to do to create the structure for more abundance. Is you're going to have an offer that costs more. It's like more of a commitment for the person. It has more power. Depends on the kind of business you have, what this might look like for you. In some way, it's going to be about creating the types of offers that create way more wealth than the previous business model, which may have been like selling a bunch of things these different prices. So when you're first selling those things, it is terrifying. And it's kind of always terrifying, I will have to say, as someone who keeps pushing my own edges, like even bringing a blaze through is really scary. Like I've been wanting this for some time and I needed to just wait until the part of me that was like, I'm gonna cross the river could just like come rushing forward like a horse, that's just like, get on, we're going. Because it's a whole new threshold, of like the standard of the kind of container you want to have. It's got more boundaries and a price that's hotter. So these are bringing us into the big theme of Ablaze, which is playing with our malefic gifts and really letting our malefic aspects come forward. What I mean by that is that we're bringing forward both the heat of like, I want this and I don't want that, and like in an erotic way. Mars, often when we're not growing, it feels like frustration. That's how Mars is talking to us. If you're frustrated, that's the signal that some part of you wants to be brave and cross the river. But instead, you're in frustration, you're in competition, you're like angry. Like, again, not problems. What they are is signals, signals about what part of you is really wanting to experience. So, in order to do that, you're going to have to get clear of like, well, what I really want is this. And it's hot. Okay, well, now we're clear. All right. That won't come singing through you until you say, Mars, I want you to tell me what I really want. So, a blaze is a place for you to do that. And I'm over here celebrating, I'm over here like I made this container for you to do that because I love this. Like, I love seeing Mars embodiment in myself, in my daughters, in everyone that I communicate with. Because when we're relating to Mars in like a way that's about self-knowing and agency and like the embodiment of our life energy, like, oh, that's just so exciting to me. So, and then the malefics is also Saturn, which is an energy that's like what it's doing is it's creating containers. It's because it's holding the trunk and the roots and the branches of the tree that is your business. And it's holding everything through the containment of your boundaries and your sense for like your values, your principles, what's true to you, what you will do and what you will not do. Trusting that like you are going to turn towards this with your whole self and you're not going to look away because you're not quitting on your devotion. This is what integrity is. There is no abundance that's interesting to me without integrity. Abundance is only fulfilling to me if it comes from the feeling of being in deep, deep, deep relationship to integrity, which is all about a relationship to yourself and what you say no to and what you say yes to. And you're being clear about that. So in Ablaze, we are celebrating the externalization of your malefic gifts, which you have. We are identifying them and we're giving them a home to come through together. In support of your heart-led business, your art, your craft, your service. Like, let's get out there. So, one of the other signals that we're at a threshold is overwhelm. Even more, it's the anticipation of overwhelm. So, when we have known ourselves to be someone who is available for other people to hold space for them, we know we're really skilled caregivers, like people really love how it feels in our space. We learn that this is how we not only give love, but how we receive love. Creating clearer containment around our our gifts, like these are the agreements I'm going to give, and the agreement is that you're going to what? The clarification of that externally is how you trust I am going to show up with all that I am to the container according to these agreements, because you've built into the agreements what you want to have to feel taken care of, to feel protected. I'm not going to be overwhelmed. There's no way that this could be overwhelming for me. I know exactly how I'm going to show up. I know exactly like I've clarified exactly what I want in return. There's no way I'm going to be overwhelmed. This is a malefic process because it's often going to mean getting clear about prices, about how much we're going to give and when the giving is going to stop. Like, when does the giving stop? To trust ourselves to not be overwhelmed, we have to know that we're clear about this. It's clear. What do we need to feel contained? What do we need? And so this is building structural and systemic support for your business. And as you grow, you bump into one of the great challenges is I can't do all of this and grow. I can't do all of this and grow. You reach that point where you're just like, I either stay here or I hire someone to join me and become a team with me, because I either stay here or I'm going to be wildly overwhelmed and resentful if I keep going, if I grow without getting support. And this also includes before even having staff, like before even having a team, you do that by automating things. Like learning how to automate is the beginning of getting support, because otherwise you are running around trying to remember how to do everything when things could just be automated. And so there has to be a willingness to learn how to do like basic stuff like that. If you're not willing, then it's just like, okay, then don't go over the bridge, like it's okay. But I'm telling you, if you want to go over the bridge, this is the bridge. Is you got to get support, automated or human. So having a support person is a huge expansion, because then you also have to be malefic, because you also have to learn how to be clear. This person is here to support you. They want you to tell them your preferences. They want you to tell them how you want it to be. They want you to be clear so they're not like, I don't know. Is this what they want? I don't know. Like, you have to be willing to be super, 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 super clear, including help them see where things weren't exactly how you wanted, because they don't want to be, nobody wants to be bothering someone. Nobody wants to be creating resentment when they're working for you. So This is a malefic skill set. It's like, can I share my standards with another person? Can I trust that another person can hold my standards? Can I trust that this person exists on planet Earth? And can I trust that if this person is really not holding my standard to a place where like I actually feel more stressed because I don't feel that I can trust them, am I willing to be a person who can part ways and then find somebody else? Like all of that feels very unrelated to the creative, intuitive, and magical aspects of your business. And so some people will never want to go there because building out systemic structural support where other humans are involved and your leadership is really taken here to like an edge, that in many ways doesn't feel like it's part of your magical skill set. But guess what? It actually activates everything big time when you're taken to the edges of transformation with yourself of like, can I trust that my heart is actually going to grow bigger from me becoming even more clear about my standards and my preferences and how I want all this to go? And can I trust that I can do this with another human being in a way that is fun and loving and respectful and feels amazing? And I've created this job opportunity for someone who is really excited to work with me. Can I trust that that kind of thing can exist in this world? Yeah, huge edge. And this kind of thing is then what allows for the containment of the root system to go deeper because you know that these parts of your business are really being taken care of that you don't have to do anymore. Um, there is the communication, there is the executive functioning, there is like an aspect of checking in, like kind of constantly being in touch. But can you hold to that, trusting that like what it's allowing is for you to be able to do so much more, which of course means bringing in so much more revenue. It's incredible. And it's an alchemical process that is just like extremely maturing. And that process allows you to then get into more integrity with yourself. All of these things are allowing you through the thresholds into 100K revenue years to 200K revenue years to 300K revenue years. You are learning how to get comfortable with things that previously made you very uncomfortable. That river you were so terrified to cross over time is like you won't even remember that you had that river. You know, it's just like it just gets integrated. It just gets integrated and then it's embodied. And now you're just living it and you're not even thinking about it. It's just who you are, which is why your standards sing. Like they come through your voice, they come through your presence. It's just so felt. Everyone in the room feels it. And people are signing up for your things because they're like, this, I feel this. And that level of trust is creating so much value. It's creating so much value for your community and for you. So you're getting comfortable with things like, I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I know what I want. I know what's worked before. I know how to adapt. I know how to listen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm comfortable with the not knowing. Like learning how to help the nervous system just be chill with like the wild thing. We don't know it. We just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Like this, there's so much repair available here with your nervous system to just be able to be doing some risky things at the edges of your creative life. And they're so fun. And you can do it because you have the capacity to hold the unknown of it. And that comes from, I crossed that river before and look where it got me. Then I crossed that next river and look where it got me. And then I crossed that river and look where it got me. It's a process of like, I am a river crosser. I am willing. Rivers don't scare me. Rivers don't scare me because no matter what it is, you know that you have like a basic skill set. And that's what we're doing in ABLAZE. You get comfortable with making decisions. Just like, I'm the one who decides. Like, turns out I'm the boss. So this is my business. I get to do it how I want. I want it like this. I've decided. Cutting away all other options. You get more comfortable with delegating and just being like, you know who would be really good with this? You know who's actually better at this than me? And I wouldn't even have to do it. And it would be done so skillfully. And it would be so cool to be in collaboration with that person while they got to be in their gifts and they were supporting my business and my community got to benefit from all of these things. And so everyone wins. Yes, I'm the boss and I can delegate like that. We get comfortable with just trusting ourselves, trusting the people we collaborate with, trusting the people we hire to support us, trusting our decisions are going to take us somewhere. There is no perfect place to go. Like we're on an adventure here. My nervous system understands that now. I just trust. I'm trusting that the planets have my back. I'm trusting my intuition. We get comfortable with moving on partial guidance. Like you're only seeing 60% and it looks like it needs to start. And what if you could just trust that the other 40% was coming along the way? Like just start. And the more you show up, the more you're like, oh, this is what ABLAZE is. Aha, what a surprise. I didn't even know about the bridge analogy until I started talking today in real time. um, moving on partial guidance. So you're like, oh, I can't wait to find out how this turns out. Yeah, I guess I'm probably not going to know till I show up and start talking and then people start coming and I start to see who the humans are. Okay, I've got a few people in now. I'm seeing the frequency, but can't wait to find out who the other people are. So, yeah, that's really the fun thing about being someone who's dealing with the challenges of being a six-figure year, multiple now, mystic is just like, I didn't even know I was going to get to learn all these things when I was just trying to get to 100K. I was just trying to get to 50K. I was just trying to get to 70K. Like I just wanted to get to anything at the beginning. But then that first year, I was like, that I made over 100K, I was like, okay, so if this is really happening, what do I want? Because before I wasn't really, what I wanted was just something that was going to take roots, you know? I wanted something that was going to show me that I can contribute and participate in the world from this very intuitive, magical mystery side of myself that I was discovering. And I was discovering, like, how do you magnetize anyone? And then the first year, by the time I had my first 100K year, which is the year that I made the investment, that's the same number as the investment of ABLAZE. I I made that investment in the summer, and then it was December that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I made like 129K that year." Because I made so much revenue in the months after I invested in that container. Because what I was saying was, if this is really happening, how do I want it to go? And getting clear around that was the huge thing that I needed to do. It's just like, well, that's the Mars. What I really want is, and so it started to get clarified. It just started to get clarified. Um, I wanted to have opportunities to collaborate with people that I like. So I just started to make that happen more and more and more. I wanted to have conversations in public that I thought were cool. I just started to do that more and more and more. I wanted to create really funky spaces that were different than what I was seeing out there, that just like were in this very cinematic vision I had for what was possible in the imaginal. And did anyone want to go there too? So I started to create those spaces, and people came sensing in me, I think she's serious. I think she's serious about this. And what they're seeing, what's conveying that, right? What is conveying that is the energetic of your malefics. Your malefics are the ones saying, I'm fucking serious. No joke. What I'm telling you is what's going to happen. Trusting that, like, everybody's aware of my big Pisces, Venus and Pisces qualities. Like, yes, yes, we all sense the big water. But do you sense my edges? Do you sense what holds all my water? Do you feel it? Yes, you feel it. That's the malefic edges. That's what I'm talking about growing. And so many in my community over the years who I've been a mentor to, a coach to, an astrologer to, you can just sense that there's a protector that is like, don't go there, you know. And for me, I take that seriously. I'm not interested in pushing anybody where they don't want to go. Everything in magic works on consent. So I wanted to create a space like ABLAZE where everyone's just consenting, like we are consenting to malefic medicine here. Like that mask you have on, you are consenting to removing it. We all have many masks, so it's not like we have one mask. But at every threshold of those rivers, it's like an Inanna kind of tax, like meaning some part of you that you thought you had to keep over the like gnarly wild you, is like a mask, just like not really showing us like the dirt under your fingernails. And this is a space where I feel like we're all just going in. And it's just like, yeah, let's bring forward this gnarlier, wilder part of you that comes from like what I really want is, but also like what you don't want in your agreements anymore. Energetically, that Saturn can help you with, because it's like, it's taking its toll on your energy. You're taking on more responsibility for your community than you need to take on. We can't care in all ways. We can't save somebody, no matter how much you can see what would help someone. It's really none of your business. unless they're in an agreement, set of agreements with you that feels really good to you and honors everything that you need. So you will have no resentment and no overwhelm with this person. Like, we are the ones who are responsible to that. That's my responsibility. When I do that, then I can come in with the full force of my gifts to be there completely for you. And you know that when you come in. And so you're ready to go to like the deeper, 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 deeper edges in a container like a blaze so that that material can really become transmuted in the chrysalis. Trust is the frequency, always. Trust is always going to be the currency needed for the crossing. So the the money point has to do with what that money means to you relative to your trust. This is relating to money in a magical way. This money is symbolic of my trust. Let's go. How many rivers would you like to cross in the 4 months of a blaze? We can cross more than one. It's all dependent on the pace of your trust, which is perfect. And I'm here for you, whatever pace you want. My guess is that a blaze will probably be a place that people want to come to more than once, even because it just will fucking work for you, you know? And we never run out of these thresholds. Like, I'm constantly at a threshold, but I just trust the process because I know the base. I know how to read the initiation pathway, is what it is. That's what we're doing. That's why Baba Yaga is the patron. Baba Yaga is the witch of initiation that is going to hold you without coddling you so that you can become ablaze with your most authentic voice. So we are learning to navigate the initiation terrain, or shall we say the waters. I brought in the water piece, which is fun. It's feeling very, well, that's kind of wild because I've been pulling art so much lately, which is like temperance. And in the Thoth deck, it's a water and fire elemental cauldron situation. So there we have the water now. Um, yeah. If you're curious and you want this, I'm inviting you to go check out the course page, feel into it. I want you to be part of it if we still have spots left when this comes out and when you hear it. It's going to be a very intimate group full of individuals for whom it's quite vulnerable to be seen there because when you're already used to being the wise space holder, it can become very frightening to be vulnerable and held. This is not our faults. It's the conditions of overculture, the conditioning of overculture that teaches us that once we're experts, we should know everything, which is distortion. And if you run your business like you're supposed to know everything, you will eventually plateau because your body will be very overwhelmed about how to keep knowing everything at these next levels. Getting comfortable with not knowing everything is one of the most important things to have as a leader, that you can always be flexible to growth, adaptation, change, repair. The humility of that is so palpable that you are more trusted by your community. There's a real rigidity to leaders who think that they have to know everything and be experts at everything and refuse to be held by others, that puts them in a position where they're only attracting people who want to be told what to do. If you want to attract a community of people who come into their own power on their own and they don't pedestalize you and they want to be with you because you keep a clean space and you're not ego invested in how people relate to the space you made for them, people who actually impress you, then it's about transmuting that rigidity of like, I don't have to know everything, actually. I can come in and be a student here and allow this space to change me. You can only do that, though, if you trust the space. You trust me to hold it. And you trust me to magnetize other human beings who you want to be around for this. So if it's calling you, I'm so fucking excited to get into this. I'm so excited for the intimacies of relating to power, containment, integrity, fulfillment, satisfaction, building businesses that are resentment free, that are overwhelm free, because we've learned how to navigate these things. Businesses with standards that sing. That's what I'm calling in. That's what we're going to have. I would love to see you in the space. Come join us. If you're like, Britten, I want it, but I'm not quite there yet. I love you. I see you. For you, I have the Magician's Table. For you, I have Living Emergence. I have other spaces that I've created for those that are more emergent with what I'm talking about here. All right. I think I'm complete. Yeah, I'm complete. So the links are in the show notes. Please rate or review Moon to Moon if you've never done so. Please, please, please. If you love this podcast, will you please, please do that right now? I'm very resistant to spending my time with that, but like so I get it, is my point, but it really helps. You will really help Moon to Moon if you write a review and you've never done one before. Thank you so much. I will see you at the next one. Oh, and if you have any questions at all, we want to support you. So please email info@brittenlarue.com. What questions do you have? Or DM me in Instagram. Just let me know. Just my request is keep a voice note at 2 minutes. Just the main thing being, what do you want? Where are you going? What questions do you have about this? Thank you.